Okay, so for the next part of this session, we are going to be looking at the results of your test that you completed online a few weeks ago. Can you tell me your three-letter code from that?
I do remember the letters. I'm not sure if the order is correct, but I think it was ISA.
Yep. Now, how would you explain each of these letters?
I can remember that I probably thought that I agreed with what the result was. The first one was, I think, investigative.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was social, the S, and the last one was artistic.
Yeah. Do you remember how you scored in these areas?
I'm not really sure, but what I do remember, I guess, is when I think about what they might mean, what they mean to me, and the sort of questions that were asked. So I guess that's why I said I felt like I agreed that they did describe me.
All right. So does the order make sense to you? Can you explain the order? Does it make sense?
Kind of, but I don't think the order really mattered to me at the time. Investigative, I know that this is about career, so I know that I have a side of me side of my personality that I know I quite enjoy analysing things and finding out new things, and I guess that when I just look at them separately, investigative probably addresses the fact that I have a science and maths background, which has been a big part of my life up until now, I guess. The social side, I probably relate it to another aspect of work that I've done in the past or stuff that I've been involved with. And so when I was about 16, I remember reading a pamphlet about counselling and things like that, and it appealed to me, and I thought, yeah, that's what I would like to do. I didn't do it straight away in my career. I did it later, but I guess it was to do with the fact that I like engaging with different people. When I left school and I went to uni and I got older, I felt that I could really engage. I seemed to develop a rapport really easily with young people, although I'd say with people of all ages, so work colleagues and other people, but in particular with young people that I was working with, I was able to engage with them, and they tend to open up to me quite easily. So I figured that made sense. The S made sense.
And so what about the A, the artistic portion?
That kind of put a smile on my face. The artistic side of things is something that I has always been part of my life as well, but not in an career sense as much as maybe a personal sense. I'm not musical, but I do like art. I like drawing and painting, in particular oil painting. And although I might be self-critical and always say that something's not fantastic or it's not as good as I might have liked it to be, it seems that other people are impressed with, my things that I've produced. So I also like in my work, I guess, the artistic side might come out in the way I approach how I do my job on a daily basis. So when I'm teaching science or when I'm teaching maths, I think I get very creative in my approach of how I present the work. I think I'm very animated, so I encourage my students to think in that way, not just specifics, I guess.
So the code and the order makes sense to you in work-related and personally?
If it's work-related, yes. I guess, though, I would always love artistic to be at the top because that's something that is low stress for me, but I don't necessarily see that as a way of earning an income.
Fair point. So if you were to locate the letters on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 was the least important and 10 was the most important, where would you locate each letter? We'll start with the first one, which was I, so the investigative.
So I can change the order of them?
Yep.
Okay. If I was putting them on 1 to 10, am I relating them back to my previous kind of work, life, career, or am I just how I feel about it?
Yeah, just how you feel about it. How would you
if it's
scale
how
each
I
letter?
feel about it and importance to me, I probably would put social first, and sorry, 1 to 10, where 1 is
least important and 10 is most important.
Okay, so I'd probably put social at maybe at the 9 to 10 end. I would probably put investigative, say maybe 6, and the artistic, I would probably put it at the end anyway as well, how it was, but I would put it probably at about a 5, so very close to social. The reason why I put the investigative so high is because I guess that having gone into education and teaching, I feel that, and specifically in the area that I'm in, which is science and maths, I think that that is a quality that you have to have to, especially with the way things advance so quickly these days. So I feel like it needs to be probably up there as one of the most important things. Social, I put second, and I put it a little bit lower because I feel that if I can't interact and with people, if I can't communicate with people, and I teach high school, so young adults, then I guess that's an important aspect of relating, being relatable and relating to the students that I work with. And artistic, probably like what I said before, I'd love it to be a higher one, but I think reality means for me that I'm being sensible. It needs to be kind of, it's still part of everything, but it's just probably in terms of success at work, it should probably be placed close behind the second one.
Do you see these numbers changing at all in the future for you?
I guess the fact that I'm talking to you about career is probably saying that there's been a time in my life where I guess this wasn't the order. Social would have been first, and that changed. And so for me, I would think that I would probably like that to swap around, where social is first and investigative is second, in the sense that I've also worked as a school counsellor, and I guess at that time period in my life, social would definitely be first, and I guess I would like to do that one more time within my career life, my working life.
So at the moment, you've put investigative at first, 9 to 10 on the scale, and then social with a 6 and artistic with a 5, which is what your original code was. But you would like to see it change in the future.
I think possible. So. If possible. I guess my my aim in life was to go into counselling. I kind of fell into teaching, but thoroughly loved it and enjoyed it, knowing full well that it was also a pathway into working with kids from a different angle. And then at some point I decided to change and go back to the classroom, and I guess that automatically changed that sequence. And then I'm at the point where I'm kind of looking at things and saying I'd like probably to reassess that, as I'm total honesty, I know I miss that aspect of work and dealing with kids and knowing them at a different level from just teaching them a set curriculum and interacting with them in that way. But seeing the needs, I can still identify those needs in kids. I still clearly have the ability to have that rapport with kids, because I often have children that come to me and have lengthy conversations with them. So I guess I would like to see it maybe go back to where social is first and higher up, and then of higher importance, because it's so close, I guess, in importance to it now, to the investigative one.
Do you see artistic going up in school, from going from 5 to maybe 7 or something?
If social came first, part of being a good counsellor is being able to interview and investigate why the child, this particular individual's come to see you. But from the artistic perspective, I have always wanted, and this is, I guess, something I never had the opportunity to do in my previous counselling work, but I would, if I do get back into that role, I'd like to kind of look at it a bit more, and that is using art therapy in some way. So I guess I get to then use and incorporate that artistic side of things into, almost put them much, much closer together.
Okay, so are any of the codes relevant to you in your life now at the moment, like anyone very specifically? You can go each one in order, whichever way you like.
I guess they all do, except the artistic at this point is much less, has less significance. But the first two, definitely. I teach senior maths, and I teach students that are from our EALD background. And so, to be totally honest, although I might misinterpret the letter I, but to be totally honest, I find that I have to look at them as individuals, but also look at their needs and specific needs. And so I'm kind of always trying to find a new way of presenting the work to them. And that's often different for different kids within that classroom.
Do any of the social or investigative relate to in your personal life in any sort of way?
Personally, I'd say investigative less so, but social always does. In a weird way, I think that I can't avoid having a heightened awareness of like a different mood in a person that I might be talking with compared to the last time I saw them, or not that I'm there trying to solve other people's problems, but like I think from a social side, I have a heightened sense of awareness of their needs, of them maybe if they seem to come across as more stressed or tired or excited or happy or whatever. So from a social side, I think I I tend to be a little bit more intuitive with what might be going on